Hi, everybody. I'm back for the last part of this painting of the cat in the boot. Um, I'm curious if anyone is really sick of my dirty palette by now because why? I never clean my palette unless I absolutely have to because palette dirt makes great paintings. And I hate to waste expensive paint. Okay, so now I have my fine line Posca marker, which is I used to try gel pens and they'd never write on my paintings, so I have this little. Actually, I have several Posca markers, and they're the best I've found yet. If anyone has better ideas for white pens, um, do let me know. I mean, I could take a fine liner brush and use white ink, and sometimes I do that, but I like the pens. I know it's cheating because they're acrylic and mostly I do watercolor, but you know what? I don't care. It gets the results I want. Just putting on those little those whiskers that kind of go off above the eyes, and then I'll draw in the ear hairs. Posca pens have a pump mechanism, so if you see me I keep whacking the things to try to pump the ink out. You can be really stubborn. White pens can be really, really kind of a pain. Okay, I'm just kind of smudging things around a bit. Okay, I think I'm just going to bring back a little bit of the dark. It's darken some of the markings, kind of here and there. Oh, actually, what I'm doing is outlining some of the white whiskers, so with a little bit of a dark. That is my favorite brush ever. It's called a reservoir liner. It's from Jackson's in England, and you can draw and draw and draw because it holds a lot of liquid. It kind of takes a while to get it going right, but then once you start getting that fine line out of it, you can just keep going. And they're sable, natural sable, and they cost about $20 US, which is just a steal, and they are the most amazing liner brushes ever. Okay, so there I go futzing and kind of darkening some of the markings again. Paint does get lighter as it dries, so sometimes it's good to go over it. I'm just kind of outlining the white whiskers a little, just to make them a little more visible. Adding some of the tan color back in using raw sienna. Okay. Okay, I've got my hockey brush. I'm going to wet the background just with reasonably clear water. Kind of trying to scrub out that little smudge on the bottom of the boot a little bit. And I should have picked up those other random marks that are kind of over on the left on top, but I'll deal with that later. Wetting around the boot. So I'll do a wet on wet background, and then I'll use regular table salt to give it some texture. Once it's wet, the first color I will be using is manganese blue, which is kind of a pale, slightly turquoise blue that I just love. It's very transparent. It's just a pretty color. Just making sure I have everything wet right to the edge of the boot. And now I'm dipping into the manganese blue. Just going around wet on wet and letting it blend itself. Okay, now I'm dipping into Payne's Gray blue shade, except I'm not happy right there because my Payne's Gray blue shade is full of green, so I kind of have to wipe that off. I like to go darker on the bottom. Something I learned from Rachel Parker, who has great painting lessons, by the way. But making it darker towards the bottom helps ground the painting. And I don't want there to be a hard edge between the two colors, so I'm just going to take a wet brush and kind of swoosh it up there. And now I'm just sprinkling regular old Morton's, a little thing of Morton's table salt around the edge there, and that will give the paint some texture. And then I'm wiping up the bottom with a tissue. And then to give it more texture, I use a scrunched up tissue and just kind of touch it here and there. Just touching that up along the edge. Important thing with the salt is you have to add the salt while the paint is really wet, and it only really works well with the first layer of paint. Now I'm going to splat some dark paint into the whole thing here. And as you can see, I'm splatting it kind of all over, and I get some on the cat, which I will pick up with a magic eraser. First I'll try with the Kleenex, and when that doesn't work, I'll pick it up gently with a magic eraser. Now you can see the nice texture developing from the salt crystals. They absorb paint and leave these nice little white marks that kind of look like snowflakes. And sorry if I sound like I have new teeth and can't pronounce things right. It's because I literally do have new teeth. So S's and T's are my nemesis. Just kind of just messing with it a little, give it even more texture. Kind of toss that magic eraser aside. drying it all with a hairdryer because I just kind of want this project done. I hope I'm getting sound here because it's not showing that I'm getting any sound at all. That's where I just kind of scrubbed out the little blobs that I made accidentally earlier, and then just added more of the lighter color of the blue. Okay, it's dry, and now I have a big trash can right next to my desk, and I'll pick that up and knock the salt into the trash can. What am I doing? Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, I accidentally got some of the darker blue onto the boot, so I'm just kind of scrubbing that out a bit. I'm going to pick that up and just knock that salt off. Hopefully you can see all my medical specialist phone numbers. Cool. Probably cut that out. Now the only thing left really to do here is add a shadow under the boot. This makes it look more realistic. And one of the things I really like to do is add ear shadows. So like on the background there'll be a couple little pointy ear shadows. I'm not sure anyone even notices those but me, but I do it in a lot of paintings. And we're getting right to the end here. Adding some of the shadow color on the back of the inside of the boot. And then comes the cute little pointy ears. I'm just mopping up some of the drips where it's wet. And then I'm gonna find a pen. I spend half of my painting time looking for brushes and looking for pens. So I'm just looking for a pen right now. And I use a Sakura. Not a Sakura. It's a Le Pen technical drawing pen, size 0.5. And I will sign my name and then I will be done. And once it's dry and I'm happy with it, I'll put a coat of wax on it. I use Dorland's wax medium, and that protects it. It protects it from me messing with it more, and it protects it from, like, if I were to spill something, because I'm kind of a klutz. And that's the end. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I have sound.